Hey friends, happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. I've got some great stuff to share with you today, so stick around as this lets everyone know that I am live. Post a comment below, let me know you're here. I am going to share this over in the Mind Power Collective group. Say hello if you're here. Hello, hello. Let's see. All right. So I am super excited to chat with you today. I am on fire. I just had some amazing chats this week. It's just been a really good week of conversations and insights and healing and all the things that are happening in my session. So I wanted to jump in here and make sure, number one, that you know that I am hosting a free open coaching event that will be happening a week from today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is an opportunity for you to come into a group. I've got a couple of new processes, some mindset stuff I'm going to be sharing, and just like a short amount of content that I want to share because I want to use the bulk of the time to just do some coaching. I really want to support you, answer your questions about mindset, and help you in any way that I can. I love doing this. I love group things, but because I've been focused on my book, I haven't had a chance to, I didn't want to get, I don't know. I don't want to lose focus around my book. So this free coaching event gives you an opportunity to get some support. I get to do something I love, and I don't have to do a whole group program. So if you have questions about mindset, if you have specific questions about your own money mindset, if you have questions about the practices or a belief you're trying to get rid of, or you feel stuck in some area of your life, please join us. And the way that you can join us is make sure that you are on my email list. I will not be sharing the link, you know, publicly. It'll just be for everyone on my email list. So if you want to join for that, make sure you're on my email list. If you don't know how to join that, just go over to my website or post a comment below and I'll send you the link for that. So that, again, free event. And if that wasn't enough, I'm also giving away a couple of free sessions. I haven't decided how many I'm going to give away. But you can only be included in the free session if you join live or you submit a question to be answered live on the call. So if you can't make it live, because I know time zones and there's that kind of thing to consider, if you can't make it live, send me an email. You can send it on Facebook or send it to me via, my website of a question that you have that you would like support around, and I will include that in the live stream, and then you're entered to win the free session. So you can't get easier than that, right? So I'll recap this, of course, at the end. But again, free coaching, free open coaching session on Thursday next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The way you join is get all the call details on my email list. Make sure you're on my email list. I'll send all that out. Okay. Now let's talk about the other information that I want to share with you. And I actually was going to put this in like a blog post and all of that, but I thought, no, I really want to come in here and talk to you about some of the things that I've been seeing recently that really mess up our mindset. Like, there are things that we all experience as human beings, but then there's things that we can really control and pay attention to that are making us, really struggle with our mindset. So I've got 5 things that I'm going to share with you. Feel free to jot these down and really kind of work through them on your own. But these are things that I see so often. And some of these I've actually seen this week as I've been working with clients. So number one, know that if you resonate with any of these, you're not alone, okay? So the number one way that I see that people are kind of struggling with their mindset is this idea of comparing themselves to someone else. And I know that like it's long been said, what's the quote, that comparison is the thief of joy. And the reason that's true is because we have a tendency to look at someone else's journey, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or their business or whatever they're portraying to us. We look at their life from the outside and we assume that we make up some story about them, like they have it so easy and, life is great for them. And whether that's true or not, we immediately look at this as if it's a reflection on us, like them living their life in somehow or some way affects or means something about us. And it just doesn't, right? Like it can be looked at in terms of like, okay, this person is older and I'm younger, like looking at data, but it doesn't mean anything about you. And I think one of the things that we do when we compare is what's happening is we're seeing evidence, which is the story, that reinforces a belief that we have, a belief that we are less than that person, a belief that we're not good enough, a belief that we're somehow behind in, our life or our business or our expansion. And when I'm working with clients around this, I go, I'm constantly asking the question, is that true? Like, is it true that because this person is doing this thing and you're doing this thing, like, how do those relate? Maybe you want to be doing something like that, but you're not going to get there by separating yourself from what this other person is doing and saying, oh, I'm so different from them. They have it easy and I don't have all these things. What you're doing is you're creating a gap, a mental gap, which then translates into an actual gap in your experience and in what you're capable of. Okay. So we really have to stop comparing ourselves to other people and then telling a story that says why we can't be that, right? Use it as like fodder for inspiration. Use it as something that you're reaching for because you admire that and you love that, and that's exactly what you like. It's inspiration. It's something that you want to reach for, but don't use it to put yourself down. That is a huge struggle that I see, particularly with women. I actually don't see this with men, which I think is really interesting. It's primarily with women where we are comparing ourselves. So we got to cut that out. It's not serving us. It's not helping our mindset. Okay. So number two, and I see this quite often as well. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for joining. Is ignoring our internal voice. Ignoring, and when I say internal voice, I'm not talking about self-talk. What I'm talking about is that internal intuitive nudge, that inner being part of us that we all have access to, might be in your gut, might be your heart speaking to you, whatever you want to call it. But it's that very wise part of you that tells you to take that step, that tells you not to take that step, right? And so this intuitive thing is something that a lot of people don't trust within themselves. It's also something that I don't think a lot of people have a good understanding of. And because they haven't trusted it and because maybe they haven't listened to it, they don't really know how to differentiate between, is this my intuition or is this fear? Is this my intuition or is this uncertainty, right? So when you ignore your intuition, very often you stay stuck and you stay very contained in this small space that's not working for you, in this life that is no longer working for you. And so we have to stop ignoring those things. And when I work with clients, and I may touch on this in the open coaching event, the thing you have to understand is differentiating between where that voice is coming from. And what I find for myself is that my intuition speaks to me not in my voice, like not in my head. It's not a thought. It's deeper and it's a feeling. I call it a nudge because it's a flash, it's a feeling, it's an impression that I feel. That's how I translate it. And so for you, it might be something different, right? For you, it might be pictures. It might be, signs that you see, like physical words and things that you see that tell you like that this is on the right track. But you have to understand where it's coming from. And I find for most of us, it's not the thoughts that we think. It's like this flash, this impression, this feeling. That is how our intuition kind of speaks to us. So when you're ignoring your intuition, you're creating more limitation for yourself. You are not allowing yourself to expand, not allowing yourself to think differently, and you stay very small in this very small life. So that's something that I see quite often. So let's cut that out. Let's start listening. And if you don't know how to listen to your intuition, join me on the open coaching call and ask that question, and I will give you some tips on how to connect with that. Okay. Number three is something that maybe you wouldn't assume has any effect on your mindset, but it does. And it is simply settling. settling in your life, settling for less, settling for the job that you don't want, the relationship that's not working, the house that you don't love, the, circumstance that just doesn't fit for you anymore. And when you settle, what you do is you literally put like this stunted growth, apparatus on your mind. I used to hear this all the time, like kids can't drink coffee, it's going to stunt your growth. Well, settling stunts your growth. It stunts your mind growth. It stunts your life growth. Because when you settle, what you're saying is, this is it. I want more, but I don't believe I can have it. So this has to be good enough. And no matter how many times you tell yourself that this is good enough, it won't be. Because if you really want and desire something bigger and better, it's not gonna fit well, right? So you're literally stunting your mindset, limiting your life by settling. And this is something that I see quite often. And a lot of the people that I end up working with will tell me, I felt this way for years, and it got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. Like I couldn't take that feeling, because the feeling doesn't go away. The feeling of desiring something else generally doesn't go away. You're just, staying really, really small because you're settling. You're settling for less than you desire, less than you deserve, and ultimately less than you want. So we got to stop settling, right? And you have to ask yourself, what is it that I actually want? What do I want? And then are you willing to do the mind work to believe that you can have it, to create it, to step into it, right? So we got to stop settling. That is really limiting your mindset, limiting your life, and we don't have time for all of that. If the pandemic taught us anything, we don't have time for that. All right, the fourth way that I see quite often that's really messing with your mind is really just, I'm going to say this and I'm definitely going to explain it, is bypassing your feelings in the name of positive thinking, or bypassing your emotions, the hard emotions, in the name of thinking happy thoughts, right? And now I'm a mindset coach. So my job is to help you feel better. My job is literally to help you feel better, create a life that you love, like to be happy, right? But I'm not going to do that in a superficial way. We're going to do it in an authentic, true way, right? And so what you have to understand is you can't just go through your days trying to numb the feelings or overlook the feelings or bury the feelings in hopes that you'll be able to feel better tomorrow, or that you can think a happy thought and all of a sudden you're going to feel happy. No, you have to deal with them. The emotions are there. A client of mine said this in a session, and it really resonated and reminded me that feelings are for feeling. They are called feelings for a reason, right? We're not meant to avoid them. We're not meant to overlook them. We need to feel them, to heal them, to process them, to release them. So yes, our feelings give us tons of information. No, we don't have to stay there, but you can't bypass it in the name of thinking happy thoughts. And here's the way that it connects with your mindset. When you are feeling whatever feeling, and you're trying to affirm, and you're trying to get to that place, and you're thinking all of these things, number one, you're just wasting time, because depending on how far you are in that feeling, that, I don't know, doubt or anxiety, it's not going to take those affirmations likely aren't going to be enough to shift the tide. And so what's happening is you're just like spinning your wheels essentially in this space, and it's not allowing you to process them. It's also not allowing you to get to the core of why you feel that, where that feeling's coming from, really looking at the belief that's underlying there, and the thing that it's connected to. And that's the thing that we need to do. Mindset is two pieces. Again, it's not just, let me just think happy thoughts, let me journal, happy-go-lucky butterflies and rainbows. That's not all it is. You got to work through the stuff that comes up. You don't have to work through all the stuff at once, but you have to work through the stuff as it comes up, okay? So stop bypassing your feelings. Stop trying to be superficial with them because you don't want to feel them. You got to feel it. You got to move through it. And, I sent an email out earlier this week that talked about the depth of healing that happens with this work. And this is where it comes from. It comes from that feeling of the emotions and really healing them. So stop bypassing them, feel it, heal it, move through it so you can get to the other side. Okay? And then the other thing that I see, and I could probably list tons of ways, but I wanted to limit it to 5. The thing that I see most often is that we're letting that negative momentum sort of go on. Like we're letting it linger for a lot longer than we really need to. And what I mean by that is one thing happens, and the example I always give is like, you wake up late and you like are running to get your clothes together and you spill coffee on your shirt, you lock your keys in your car, and like you're thinking all these negative, horrible things. And instead of like taking a moment to process how you're feeling, right? Not bypassing it, and then to reset your mind and your energy, you're just adding more fuel to the fire, right? So what you're doing is you're creating this like nonstop flow or flood of negativity. You're not stopping yourself. You're not allowing yourself to like reset. And one of the processes I'm going to share in the open coaching is a way that it's a process I just learned that will help you learn how to reset a bit easier, to help you kind of move through your day and be more intentional about how you want to feel without getting carried away with that old energy, right? So we have to stop letting that negative momentum pop up. One more thing I'll add, it's actually 6 ways because this just came up, is we're letting our external life situation, circumstance influence and set our beliefs. We're letting the external reality determine what we believe. We're not being the owner of our beliefs. And that is something that we're taught to do from jump. Like we're taught to do that because that's science, right? If you can't prove it, if you don't have evidence for it, then it's not deemed real. But it doesn't work that way with mindset. So we have to stop letting like all the willy-nilly things in the world determine how we think and feel, because we're not in control of that, right? We are in control of where we focus our energy, where we focus our thoughts, what we decide to do, what our actions are, right? And the way that you do that is like bringing that control back to you, bringing that focus back to how do I want to think? How do I want to feel? What do I want to create? Okay. So I want to recap those again, just so you kind of get a better understanding of some of the things that can really influence negatively, right? Can limit your mind, can make it more difficult for you to build those new beliefs, right? So number 1 is comparison. We just have to stop it. And I'm not going to tell you that I don't do it. I literally did it last week. I did it last week. I saw some entrepreneur, a fellow coach, pop up online. I saw her talk about something that some level that she's reached in her business. And I immediately, without even realizing it, my mind went to, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Right? Now, the process I'm going to teach, and I'm so excited about this exercise I'm going to teach you in the open coaching event next week is the thing I did to shift that energy around. So I can't wait to share that with you, but it was instantaneous. I didn't even see it coming, was this comparison. So yeah, it's going to happen, but you have to understand how to deal with it. We got to stop comparing it. It doesn't mean anything about us, okay? So stop comparing. Number 2, you're ignoring your intuition. We have to stop doing that. We need to be able to trust ourselves. You need to be able to trust the choices that you make. You need to be able to trust the nudges that are coming up, the steps to take, the investments to make, all of that. If we don't have that, we have nothing. And one of the things I see quite often is we feel like we need to reach outside of ourselves and get the answer, and that person knows better than me. No, once you develop this relationship with your intuition, then you know that you can trust yourself. And that's one aspect of the coaching process that is really critical for me, is helping you understand that you need to trust yourself. And I help you do that, okay? Number 3 is settling. You didn't come here to live this half life. You didn't come here to live this small existence. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to start a business, but you want to live a full life. That's why we're here. And so if you're settling for less than what you want, it's really messing up your mind. It's really, really messing up your mindset. So we got to fix that, okay? Bypassing the feelings, bypassing how you feel, especially those negative emotions, in the name of positive thinking, just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. No matter how hard we want it, no matter how hard we try and how much we want it to work, it just doesn't work. So you have to feel the emotions to heal them, give them the time and space to process, and then you can shift your thoughts and shift, get into those more happy thoughts, if you want to call it that. But you got to feel the feelings. Okay. And then number 5 is letting the momentum, that negative momentum, linger, right? Where you're not allowing yourself to reset and you're not aware of that moment where you can go, okay, I need to take a moment here. I need to take a beat. We all need that. Like, kids need that. I look at my son, he needs that. Like, we all need that to be able to go, okay, let me just reset for a second. Let me get my head together and do a little bit of mindset work, because when you don't, then you have all this unnecessary, potential negativity and additional thoughts that you didn't really need, like things that aren't really helpful. So we got to get out of that negative momentum and get into a process that helps you shift your thinking and reset your mindset a bit quicker. And again, I'm going to share some new processes with you in the open coaching event on next Thursday. So if you have questions for me, either about anything that I've shared here, or you have questions that you want to submit for the open coaching event, I encourage you to post the comments below. You can send me a direct message on Facebook. You can find me over on Instagram, send me a message there. But if you are not a follower, if you are not on my email list, you will not get the call information. I am not posting this. I'm not logging this anywhere. Only the people on my email list are technically invited. I mean, you're invited, but you got to join my email list. So if you want to join for this open coaching event, if you want to get some free one-on-one coaching in a group setting, please, please join. I promise it is going to be invaluable to you. It is one of the most, fun things for me to do. But I love bringing people together, and you're going to learn a lot, not just from your question, but from the other participants as well. So join live if you can and ask your question live, because there's some interaction that we can have. But if you can't make it live, I will be recording it and you can submit your question ahead of time. So if you want to email me, you can email me at lamisha@lamishasserfwalls.com, or send me a message on Facebook or email, and we'll get you in the loop. I'm also giving away at least one one-on-one call, free call, if you are there live and or submit a question, if you can't join live. So if you would like to win one of those and be entered to the winning, all you have to do is show up live again or submit your question. Easy peasy. So that is it. That is it for now. I hope that this is helpful for you. The plan is always to come here and to speak live and to share, insights. And my plan currently is to do this on Wednesdays or Thursdays, over here on Facebook, to make sure that I'm sharing some information that you can immediately apply to your life. Like, this stuff is stuff that you can take and tweak and apply immediately. And so if it's helpful for you, post a comment, give me a like, share it, tag someone. Anything goes, and I would really appreciate it. And in the meantime, please, if you would like to join us for this event, all you have to do is join my email list. Make sure you get on the list. Again, you can do that on my website, but what I'll do after the live is I'll post the link below in the comments, so you can feel free to sign up there. Okay. All right, friends, I hope that you found this to be helpful. I hope you guys have a great week and weekend. And if you have questions about the event or about anything that I shared, feel free to post them in the comments below. If this was helpful and you want to share this on your page or share this with a friend, feel free to do so, right? Sharing is caring, and the more the merrier. So that is it for me today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will chat with you soon. All right, bye guys.